I'm Shrey Sharma. I'm working here at Syntex as a CEO. I started this company 5 years back, and we are 300 people strong right now. And along with founding and running Syntex at this level, and that too bootstrapped in a bootstrapped way, we are also running S2 Labs, which is a pure play Salesforce training company. And I happened to also create a YouTube channel along the way, which was Salesforce Hulk. The primary reason of starting that was to impart the Salesforce knowledge out there to the world in the best of the way we could do. And today we're going to talk about life of an IT professional. First of all, let's talk about why do we need to even understand a life of an IT professional. Any answers? I mean, is it really important to understand life of an IT professional? And why are you guys sitting here like early morning?
Like we need to always update it about the new technologies and keep learning so that we can give better satisfaction to our clients. And we can manage our professional and the personal life accordingly that if they will not impact to each other.
Exactly. Anything else? क्या जरूरत है? मतलब what is the need of learning about the life of an IT professional?
Because we are IT professionals.
Exactly, because you in all of your life are going to probably work into IT industry if this industry sustains. Because right now, this is a most rewarding industry to work in, especially for the young graduates who are graduating from their college. No matter which degree, which program, which major they are doing while graduating, they all of them want to be into IT industry right now because it's the most culturally sorted. Fancy looking industry to work in. But there are a lot of nuances about this industry which a lot of people don't really know and ends up losing years of their life. And in order to not lose their years of life, in order to understand the basic things and the basic principles of this IT professional career, we are going ahead with this presentation, or you can call it as a session. This is a presentation for you, but for me, it's more of a session where I'll be engaging and interacting with all of you to understand what do you guys think about all of these things and how you can change the things in your life, how you can change the way you can respond towards life, how you can respond towards your career in order to make it as a successful one, rather than just the regular one out there, which a lot of people out there you can see have took it as. So, shall we start?
Yes.
Are you excited? No?
Yes, very much.
All right, let's start with questions. So this complete session is going to be about question and answers, a lot of questions and a lot of answers from your end. So first of all, who is an IT professional? You describe it in the simplest way possible.
People who are working in IT.
All right. Anybody else?
People dealing with softwares.
Exactly, people dealing with softwares. You can give the answers in Hindi as well. Anybody?
Like all the roles which are include in a process of building a project and testing it and delivering all are the
All right. Anybody who is making sure that the project delivery is happening the right way.
QAs.
Yeah. All right. So let me tell you what my definition of IT professional is versus what the world think it is. All right. Let's have a look at it. IT professionals are the people who think they're changing the world with the technological revolutions and with the ideas that they have with the help of technology. But at the end of the day, they're doing nothing but just creating a form to capture a lead. That's exactly what a lot of people out there, or at least 90% of IT professionals out there are doing. Yes or no? I mean, they thought when they were learning coding, when they were learning programming, they used to think that they are going to write down programs for the spacecrafts out there. But what are they actually writing down the programs for? Huh? Exactly. So that they can capture the lead. So they're just creating forms for all of their years. They're just creating forms in different technologies in different ways just to capture the leads for their business. So is this exactly what an IT professional is? The basic definition, of course, it's someone who is working into the industry called IT or tech or technology, whatever, be it services or be it products. But yeah, that's pretty much what it is. A lot of people think that IT industry or IT professional is someone who is as very highly proficient in technology, very great in understanding the businesses, amazingly talented and all of that stuff. But to be very honest, the people into IT industry really know that it's not really like that. There are a lot of other smart people out there in other different industries as well, who if come into IT industry can just knock off all of those people who are just creating firms. Yes or no? All right, so that's what it is. But that was really a joke. That's not what it is. Anybody who is working into IT industry is an IT professional according to the definition, and it's important for them to understand the complete life cycle of how an IT professional or what all stages a IT professional goes through. Like in their particular career. Now the next question is, what aspirations do they have in their life? I mean, what are they seeking? What are the typical things that they are seeking in their life? All of the IT professionals.
Making more money.
Money.
Better lifestyle. Better lifestyle.
Better lifestyle.
Stable.
Stability and security.
Growth
Growth in what terms?
in learning.
All right, more skills. So yeah, you all are correct. So these are primarily the four things that they're chasing. Number one is always, of course, money. They're chasing more and more money. And right now, a lot of people who are smart, who are amazingly talented, are choosing IT as their industry to work in. The number one reason is money. Undoubtedly. So you see IITs as well. So the seats in IITs for the computer science branch goes for the higher ranks than of other branches. And the typical reason is not because the people who want to do computer science are the ones who are getting the most ranks out there, but the pure reason is they're going to get a better package if they're going to be into a computer science branch. So a lot of people working into IT industry are not really motivated to work into IT industry or technology industry, but they're motivated to get more money into their life. So that's what one of the reason is. Chasing lifestyle, of course, if you're getting an AC office, completely air conditioned with good looking people, looking like the Suits series, Harvey Specter kind of attire you're wearing, and you're walking in those fancy offices, where everything is getting delivered to you onto your table itself, and sometimes that is also a problem. But if you're chasing that kind of a lifestyle, there's no other industry that is giving you that kind of a lifestyle, and IT is giving you that. Then comes chasing brands. The topmost brands that are out there in the world, that we know right now at least, are into IT or are into tech, right? And they want to work for those brands, they want to work for those industries because it's easier to become part of a bigger shark. It's just easier to have that tag on you. Why a lot of people want to have tags onto their resumes of bigger brands? Because it adds a validation. So that like this person has worked for this particular brand, this person has worked for this particular brand. So a lot of people are chasing brands as well. Yes or no? So that's why they're working in this. Then there are some people who are chasing positions. There are some people who want positions of power, and they're there as well. But they are very less comparative to the people who are chasing money. Am I correct? All right. Where do their aspirations come from? News. Yeah, good. Seniors.
Friends and family.
Friends and families. All right. So it starts like that. Immediate friends and peers. A lot of time what happens with the people working into IT industry is, if my friend who was also working with me is looking for a switch, I'm also looking for a switch. I don't have any reason to switch. I'm getting better pay. I'm getting every opportunity to work. I'm getting every opportunity to upskill my skill set. But if my friend is leaving the company, I'm leaving the company. I don't know how that sounds or how that actually feels to the people after they part their ways. But this is typically how the mindset is, right? And it's since the starting of it. So if you're going into this company from the college, I'm also going into this company from the college, not realizing what exactly they individually are looking for, right? It's more important what you're individually looking for. If you're looking for skill set, if you're looking for money, if you're looking for position, if you're looking for power, if you're looking for brand or something like that, you should opt the option according to your internal longings, right? That's something that is last on this one. So people prioritize their immediate friends and peers' validation more, and their influence more than their internal longing of becoming something or getting to a certain path, right? So if their friend wants to hang out on a weekend, they also want to hang out on a weekend, even if they're not feeling like that. So that's how the world is turning up to be more and more. And of course, after immediate friends and peers, there's families and relatives. So if I have a bhaiya who is working on in X city, in Y company and earning Z package, I also want to do the same thing. Not even realizing why do I need that? No, I mean, do I really need that or not? People are not asking themselves those questions. And I think that's very, very important. Do you think so?
Yeah.
All right. Then comes social media. A lot of influence about manager being bad, the bosses being rude, the companies being brutal, is coming from all of these social media influences and all of those people. I have huge respect for all of those influencers, but all what they're trying to do is capture as many eyes as they can. And how can you capture as many eyes as you can when you'll be having an audience which can relate with you more? How many people are running the companies? Very small. How many people are working in the companies? This much. What are their thought process? The company is bad. So create content of company is bad, and more people are going to like your content, more people are going to watch your content, more people are going to get influenced by your content. Without even people realizing that this content is shaping their how they're going to think in their mind and how they're going to take the decisions of their life. Is that what is happening? All right. And there's an internal longing as well. What that means is, you deep down somewhere have a longing for something, right?
You don't have it up till now, hence you want it.
Exactly. So so sometimes you feel like, no, I want to have it. I want to have a gajar ka halwa. I don't know where this craving is coming from. Is it because of the winter that we have in Jaipur? But I want to have a gajar ka halwa. That's an internal longing. I don't want to have a gajar ka halwa because this guy is having a gajar ka halwa. So that's getting influenced by my immediate peer. But having a gajar ka halwa, yaar, from inside it is coming, I should have a gajar ka halwa, so I should have a gajar ka halwa. That's more about internal longing. So people should focus more onto their internal longings, their inner selves, rather than the outside influences that they get from families, friends, and social media. Are we correct? Next. Should they work hard for their aspirations in their life? What do you think? I mean, is it really important to work hard in your life to get those aspirations?
Be able to achieve them.
But do we really need to achieve them?
Yeah.
All right. We as humans are a creature of satisfaction. And when we say satisfaction, after eating food, after drinking water, we get a satisfaction. Yes or no? So in all things that we want to do in life, at the end of the day, we are chasing some kind of satisfaction. There are different terms that you can use, like fulfillment, and I don't know what all you want to use for it. But at the end of the day, we are created as humans like that we are looking for satisfactions in our life, right? And an aspiration is nothing but a hunger inside you. I want to have more money. That means I want to have more money. Don't give me lectures onto morality. I want to have more money, and hence I'm going to earn more money. So there is a need, there is an internal hunger, and then you want to satisfy that hunger, which is going to make you feel fulfilled. So that's what aspiration is all about. Fulfilling your hunger. Yes or no? All right. So should you work hard for it? I mean, there's no choice other than working hard for it. Otherwise, you're always going to be an unfulfilled person, frustrated, irritated. So how do you feel when you do not have a meal? Or you do not get to eat something good for like consecutively 3 days? Agitated, frustrated. That's exactly how you're going to end up. If you're looking for more money in your life, and if you're not going after it, if you're not working hard to get that money, and of course, if you're not going to work hard for the money is not going to come from anywhere, right? Like just like that. Then you're going to be an unfulfilled person. There's going to be an unsatisfied desire inside you, which somewhere along the way got lost, and which is going to make you a miserable person. No wonder why all of the 60 years old, or majority of the 60 years old people like roams around agitatingly in all of those parks, right? Morning, evening, every day they are having those walks without even realizing what are they looking for in their life. So somewhere along the way they had some aspiration which they didn't work for, or they worked hard for, or even if they worked hard for it, they didn't got the realization of the same, and hence they are frustrated. and now they do not have the abilities to work for those aspirations. And the reason why I'm telling this to you, and the reason why I'm asking you guys to focus onto this, is because you're young. Right now, your mind, your body, your responsibilities, all of your situations are towards, are in plus. So they are supportive. 10 years down the line, it's going to be relatively unsupportive. I'm not saying that 10 years down the line, it's going to be even more difficult. No, it might be an easier thing for you. But your body is going to decay with time. The abilities of you of waking up more hours, the capabilities of the time that you'll be able to give to satisfying that aspiration of yours is going to get reduced with time. So of course, you should work on to your aspirations very, very hard. We clear on this? Next, how you can achieve that?
How can we achieve working hard?
No. How you can achieve the aspirations? By working hard, you're going to say. But to work hard on what? I mean, for our mother, working hard is helping her in the kitchen. For our father, working hard is waking up at 5 o'clock. For working hard, for the teacher of our college and for the teacher of, for someone or for the teacher in our college is making sure that the assignments are getting done on time. For working hard, for our team leader is getting the work done on time and of quality. What exactly is work hard? Everybody wants us to work hard for different things in different ways. What exactly is that? All right. Do you really want to know about this? All right. So first, what we have to do is we have to understand the different stages of life or different stages of a career that one IT professional goes through. And at these different stages, what kind of aspirations do they have? And according to those aspirations, what are the activities and the tasks that they have to do or they should do in order to gain that? Like, for an example, someone who is working into an IT industry, I'm just giving a random example, someone who is working into an IT industry from last 4 to 5 years and is looking for a better position. What are the things that they should do, right? This is exactly what we are going to take care of in this particular session, which is going to be valuable not just for you to starting off your career, but along the way as well. So when you'll be 10 years of experience in this industry, what you should do at that point of time is going to be defined today itself. But first you'll have to understand what goes around in the mind of the individual who's 10 years experience, what are the aspirations, how the aspirations change according to the time. So all of those things. So are you ready for that? So are you ready to understand the different stages of career that an IT professional goes through?
Yes.
Sure. All right, let's start with it. So the number one is, any guesses? Where does this IT industry, IT professional starts from?
Choosing a field.
Huh? What did he say?
From placements.
Yeah, from colleges, right? So let's try to understand how the cycle of an IT professional looks like. It all starts from the college. And while understanding the different stages of in the cycle of an IT professional, we are going to understand what all do they do and what do they get after doing that, right? So that's how we are going to segregate all of it. So when they're in the college, all what they're working on is learning coding or technology. And sometimes in some colleges, I don't know why, aptitude. Because in a lot of placements, the companies take an aptitude test in order to place the individuals working, studying in that college. Yes or no? So yeah, in college, typically what you do is you learn coding or any technology. And then what do you get out after it? We have it over there, right? Placements with the best packages, right? And that's all what the aim is about. So the aspiration when you are in the college is about getting the best package, right? Getting the job from the college itself and with the best package. And what is best package?
The maximum of what everybody else is getting.
Exactly. So it's again a subjective reality for you. So if your friend is getting 4 LPA and you're getting 4.5, that's best. But if your friend is getting 8 and at the same point of time you're getting 4, it's a bad one, right? So best package is also not defined. It's again defined by the peers. So if you're letting outside influences define success for you, you're going to end up in a misery. But if you're going to define success for yourself within yourself, you're going to end up as a success. That's how probably I think the world works. And I might be wrong. But coming back to the point, you learn coding and technology to get placement with the best package, and best packages again with all of that. Do you think this gets changed as you get that placement and you get into the first job? Do you think you're still seeking best packages, or the likelihood of you having a different aspiration in a different stage of your life gets changed? So we'll be talking about stages, right? In the first stage, your aspiration is this. In the second stage, your aspiration is this. In the third stage, your aspiration is this. So along the way, your aspirations also keep on evolving. So in the first stage, it was about the best package. with whatever best company, but whatever subjective reality it is. But you want the best amongst the rest. That's what it is. So from college, when you get your first job, what do you think the aspiration is about? All right, let's look at it. In your first job, you work hard to learn or master the skill to get what? To learn and master the skill which is valuable in the marketplace. So a lot of time what happens is when you get placed into the industry, all what you want to do is work as hard as possible and learn as fast as possible, as much as possible to become the master of that skill. You want to beat the 10-year experience into that technology in your first year. That's how your motivation is, right? You want to ramp up everything in just like that. Does that happen? Right? This is typically how the progression goes. So you want to learn. So right now, let's say that if you're learning Salesforce. So you want to become the best developer out there in Salesforce. And you want to do it all in just 1 year. And as soon as you think you have learned it, right? You're never a master of any technology, right? Even I'm not a master of Salesforce. Even though I've taught more than 1 lakh people into Salesforce now, but I also do not consider myself as a master in Salesforce because learning is a continuous process. It is a never-ending process. But again, when you think you have become a master into this, you move on to the next steps. How do you think and when do you think you have become a master into that?
And we are able to solve the problems around those skills.
Again, that's a subjective reality. When you see that the 10 other people who are also working with you do not even know half of all what you know, that is the time that you think that you have already mastered it. The reason is, तुम अंधों में काने राजा हो. ठीक है? You have not got yourself into a community where the people are smarter, and whatever you know has got no relevance with what they know in terms of the skill set which is required for that technical job, specifically talking about IT professionals, right? So what ends up happening is they start thinking that we have got it. So when you're in college and when you get placement, you do not anymore care about the placements. So the aspiration is gone because your desire or internal satisfaction, you have got the internal satisfaction because your desire got fulfilled, right? Next, you want to master the skill. And when you feel that the people who came with you know not even half of what you know, you think the aspiration got fulfilled, right? That's exactly what happened. After this, what stage of life does one enter into? After doing the first job, how does... So...
Promotion or switch the job.
Exactly. Promotion or switch the job. Anything else? So initially you wanted a best placement. Then you wanted to learn a skill which is valuable. And now your aspiration from skill got changed to position, power, money, all of those things, right? So there is another game that starts after that, after your first job. And that's a very important thing, which is you imagine all of the people that you know around yourself and put them into all of these levels. And you're going to realize, अरे यार ये कर रहा है, अरे he is doing this, अरे he is doing that. अच्छा अरे मेरे को पता है इसका आगे क्या होगा. So that's how smart you should be, right? Even if you're not seen or experience everything, you should at least know what happens at that point of time. So after your first job, a game begins. And the name of the game is the hopping game, right? What is hopping? Jumping, japak, jumping, japak, right? That's what the hopping game is all about. Hopping game basically means now I'm not much interested into the skill sets. I'm more interested into getting the things that I want in my life, whether it be the money, whether it be the position, whether it be the lifestyle, whether it be anything else, right? So let's talk about the first one. So again, this hopping game gets divided into 4 categories. How 4 categories? For the people who want more and more money. So they are switching jobs. So hopping game basically means job switching game starts happening, right? Everyone starts switching their jobs. And the reason for switching the jobs are different for all different people, right? For a lot of people, like almost 80-90% of the people, it's always the money. Take it. It's always. Even if they're going to get 2,000 rupees more, they're switching the job. They're not even thinking twice about it. They're just doing it. And they get fun out of it for some time only, not for the long term. But yeah, that starts happening. So they switch jobs for more and more money. That's the type 1, right? In the hopping game. What's the type 2? Exactly. So the type 2s are who want to change the city or probably the country. So you'll see a lot of people graduating from good colleges, getting good placements in all of these cities like Pune, Bangalore, Hyderabad, or whatever. And now their next aspiration is to go into a next country. Right? And now I don't want to work in India. India is not a good place to live in. I want to go to UK. I want to go to US. And how have they realized that this is what they want to do? Because someone in their immediate circle has done it, and that's what they think is the same thing that they have to do. Yes or no? So that starts happening, right? Or that's typically what happens. So they want to, and someone who's working in a tier 2 city of Rajasthan of India, which is Jaipur, they want to move to Bangalore. They want to move to Gurgaon. Why? To get what?
More money.
Not just more money, right? Typically what ends up happening is there are a lot of people who are earning relatively well in a tier 2 city, and when they move to tier 1 city, they might be earning a little bit more, but the expenses shoots up by 30%. So they end up saving less. So even if they might be making more money, or sometimes I've seen a lot of people who switch jobs in a different city with the same package as well. So that's also one of the reasons while their expenses are going to get increased. So like let's say you're earning probably 50,000 rupees per month right now, and you have moved to Gurgaon and you're getting 60,000 rupees. So in Jaipur, the living expenses might not be more than 10 to 15,000 for you. But the moment you moved to Gurgaon, your package got increased by 10,000 rupees only, but your expenses got increased by almost double to it. So your expenses are now 30,000 rupees. So now you're ending up with the savings of 30,000 rupees per month. But earlier, when you were working in Jaipur, when you were making 50,000 rupees and you were saving 15,000 rupees, 35,000 was your saving. So who ends up making more money? The Jaipur one or the Gurgaon one? Exactly. But this is not how people think about it. They're just like, I am going to Gurgaon, I'm getting 10,000 rupees ka raise. No, brother, you're getting 15,000 rupees more as expenses. And a relatively not good or not healthier lifestyle. But that's what they're seeking, right? When they're in young age, they want better communities. When I say better communities, girls want relative freedoms from their families. Males want relatively good-looking females out there to hang out with and to live with. And that's probably one of the reasons why they also want to move out to different cities and different countries, because they do not liking the culture of the city that they're living in, and they do not want those restrictions onto them as well. So there are multiple reasons, but we're just talking about the reasons why people switch. What do they do and what do they get? Right? That's all of what we're talking about, because this is the stage of life that you might also tomorrow get into. So you should know like what is going to happen with me later on as well. You should not just take the immediate next step. When you just take the immediate next step, you should be very clear about the long-term impact of it as well, right? How the trajectory is going to look like. I'm switching the job, but what after this job? What after this job? What after this job? Where exactly I'm going to end up being? So all of these things should be very clear. And instead of you trying and figuring it out with hit and trial, I thought that it would be wise for a person like me who has seen it all happening with a lot of people out there, to just present a basic framework or a basic model to you, which is going to make it easier for you to take the right decisions in your life. Clear? All right. Now, what are the third ones? Hopping game C.
Freelancing.
That's one thing that a lot of people want to do, but that's not in the hopping game.
Position.
Exactly. So, before position, a lot of people switch their jobs to get into bigger brands. So, when people are working for smaller organizations, they want to work for bigger firms, which are predominantly known out there in the world to get that social status, right? So people working into smaller companies want to join, big brands. That's all what I can call. Like let's say they want to join Deloitte, they want to join Google, they want to join Amazon. And why do they want to join all of that? Because they want X Amazon, X Google into their LinkedIn profile, right? So they want to add more of those names over that. So their motivation might not be the money. Of course, they might be getting some money more. But the primary motivation is to get into that organization and get the name of that organization into their resume, which is going to increase their value. That's how at least they think. So yeah, they switch companies and apply for bigger brands. Bigger and more brands on their resume is all what they're looking for. Is it correct or not? I mean, does that happen? And should that happen or not? See, if there is someone out there who's willing to work for a bigger brand, what is the problem in that? They should work for a bigger brand. At the end of the day, the internal hunger should get satisfied. Otherwise, you're going to roam around like frustrated people. So in order to save yourself from being frustrated in life, you should satisfy the hunger that you have inside you. That's all what one should do. Am I correct? So if someone has a need, has an internal longing, has an urge to go to a bigger brand, they should go and work for the bigger brand. But not just because your friend is going and working for a bigger brand and making you realize that you are a country in a third world company. I mean, that should not be the influence of working into bigger brands. If you really want to work into bigger brands, in order to have the experience of working into the bigger brands, you should definitely go for that. But it should not be the outside's influence onto you, right? That's all what it is about. Now the next game is about the positions. So a lot of people want to switch the companies for the money. Relatively less want to switch the companies for lifestyle. Relatively less want to switch the companies for the brands. And then very, very less want to switch in today's generation especially. Earlier it used to happen a lot, but in today's generation all what we are seeing is people don't care about their positions. Right? Because the cultures have been like this, that even the boss is sitting onto the same chair. So it's a neutral, position neutral, power neutral cultures that is out there in the IT industries. Yes or no? So whenever you're going to create a position neutral, power neutral cultures, the longing and the need and the urge to get power or to get position is automatically going to get diminished because there's no differences, right? Whenever you create differences, the longing and the urge to get more power and better positions is always going to be relatively higher. Are we correct on that? Yeah. So, but because in IT industry, it's all becoming like position neutral. The longing for positions and power is getting diminished, and hence very, very less people are switching companies for the better positions. But there are still some out there. Does that happen?
Yes, actually, people thinking that if we get position higher, we have more responsibility. Instead of that, they are switching the job to get more package.
Exactly. So that's one of the major things that you've added. So what she's saying is, people want more money, but they don't want more responsibilities, because with better positions comes more responsibilities, and they do not want to have that. And that's the dilemma of this generation. They want more and more money, but they do not know what more value do they have to serve, and they end up in a situation where they cannot even leave the current job, and they do not have the skill sets required or the responsibilities that they can or more value to cater to the newer organizations. So they get up and so they end up getting stuck. But yeah, that's one of the reasons why people are not looking for more powerful positions right now than earlier. But what after this? I mean, how long does this game last? You've switched the company for more money. Now again, after 6 months, you're switching the company for more money. Now again, after 6 months, you're switching the company for more money. And now in your resume, in 6 years, you have changed 8 organizations.
But after some time, we are getting satisfied and we want stability and security, and then the game will stop.
Yeah, that's one thing. But how long does this game last?
Not more than 3 to 4 years.
Not more than 3 to 4 years? Is that what your answer is?
After that, it will stop for some time, and then again it will start, because human is never satisfied.
Exactly. So it's all about the aspirations. The higher the aspirations, the longer the game lasts. That's all what it is. Am I correct? Do you think so? So if you want to eat more of the food, are you going to stop at the second course of the meal? You want to have 7 of it, right? You want to have more and more of it. So the higher the aspiration, the more the game lasts. But typically for most of the individuals, it is an endless game. Every year, every 1.5 years, every 9 months, they have, without any reason, even if they're getting everything satisfied, even if they're good with everything, they just want to switch. Why? Because their friend switched and got a raise, because their cousin switched and got a raise, because everyone around them has raised their package to X amounts only by switching, and they think the only way to grow into IT industry is by switching and hopping and playing the hopping game endlessly. Do you think it is the way it is? Is it? Yeah. So the thing is, so everything is the reflection of what you do as an activity. When I say that, companies are not looking to retain existing people and invest onto them in order to get them ready for the newer positions in their organizations. Why? Because people, after learning a skill, keep on hopping into jobs, and whatever investment that they made into them gets lost. Right? So this hopping game started. Let me tell you a story. So this hopping game started when Ramlal and Shamlal were working into XYZ software. When Ramlal and Shamlal was working into XYZ software, what started happening was Ramlal and Shamlal got an understanding of how to be a technical lead. The manager told them, taught them, did everything in order to make them as a technical lead. But what they did instead was, after learning how to be a technical lead, applied for the positions of technical lead in another companies, and they switched. Now the manager was like, "Arey, I placed so much efforts onto these people. I made sure that they are growing into their life as well as the company is getting satisfied with the output that they're going to produce for the organization. We did our part, but as soon as we did our part, people left and joined another organization. So companies stopped themselves from investing into people who they thought were not long term. Ends up happening is like this Ramlal and Shamlal switched, but what happened of the generations after Ramlal and Shamlal is that the people who came after Ramlal and Shamlal didn't got the same kind of behavior, learning and influence from the manager. Because the manager was like, this one is also going to be like Ramlal and this one is also going to be like Shamlal. I don't want to waste my time on them. So now no one is investing onto their people. And now the people working into the organization are thinking that I'm not getting any growth in here. What choice do I have other than switching? So they have started switching. So now it has become a continuous loop where companies are not trusting the people and the people are not relying on to company to give them the growth. So they are looking outside always for the growth, the people who are working at the positions of Ramlal and Shamlal, and the managers are also always asking the HRs and the HR managers or whatever HR executives or recruiters to get in more people who are already trained. So it has ended up becoming a situation like we are not going to put in the effort to create more eggs. We are not going to bear eggs, right, for any amount of duration. But we still want more chicks to happen. You're getting what I'm trying to say? So the managers want more of the leaders in the organization, but they're not willing to invest into the people. And the people want the growth in the organization, but just because they just want the growth in the organization in terms of their learning, and then they want to switch. And hence leaving themselves leaving the company in a spot of always having the insecurity of the people leaving. So in this situation, nobody wants to bear the pain, but everybody wants to have a baby. Can you have a baby without the labor pain? That's exactly where we are. It's an absolute dilemma that's going around in the IT industry right now, and not just in the IT industry, but all of the world. Where the companies do not want to invest into their people, and the people do not want to rely onto the company for its growth. They just want to use the company for their next opportunity. They just want that company to act as a stepping stone into their career graph, right? So nobody to blame here. Not the individuals, because companies are not the individuals, because individuals might not be getting opportunities into the organization that they're working in. And not the companies or the managers or the leaders of that organization as well, because those managers, those leaders might have come across in a situation where they met Ramlal and Shamlal. So because of that, they're not focusing onto it. So now what is happening is, instead of people relying onto each other, having trust onto each other and maintaining the relationships, it has become a purely transactional business, which is not really innovating, right? Which is not innovating in growing the organization as well as the people working there. And they both end up getting stuck. So yeah, but coming back to the main point, it's an endless game until the next steps, right? It's an endless game. People keep on playing this hopping game endlessly. Now, right, I want a position of team lead, all right. 2 years down the line, I want a position of manager, all right. 2 years down the line, I want a position of department head, all right. I mean, so they're just doing that. I mean, they just want positions. They do not want to get the skills to get to those positions, right? But it should be the other way, right? You should learn the responsibilities. You should take on the responsibilities. You should learn the skill sets which are required to be a manager, to be a leader, to be a department head, all of those things. But all what they're doing is, I want a better position. Are you willing to give it to me or not? That's how they're talking to the recruiters. And recruiters are also frustrated. Even if they give them the best of the best things out there, they're not joining on the day when they're supposed to show up. Right? Why? Because after getting the best of the best offers, they just go out there playing this hopping game again by offer shopping. So this hopping game is an endless game. It's an endless rut or endless cycle which people play on until the next steps. Now the question is, what are these next steps?
Trying to get out of that rut.
They do not even realize that they are into the rut. Anybody?
They start giving up on the hopping game and just settle for whatever that they have.
Exactly. So that's one of it. Now, the next steps are divided into two categories. Number one is comfort seekers. When you have it, exactly what you said. So it lasts for 3-4 years, but it lasts for 3-4 years only for the people who get satisfied with whatever they have in 3-4 years. But the people who didn't got satisfied for what they have, 8 to 10 years, it lasts for them for 8 to 10 years as well. Right? So it's completely relative. Huh?
It depends on satisfaction.
Exactly. So there are comfort seekers then. What are comfort seekers? Let's look at it. want maximum money with maximum comfort without losing the money, position, lifestyle, and status. So what ends up happening is when the person is getting the maximum salary and they do not see much of the scope of that salary or that position to be increased, that lifestyle to be upgraded, or they do not want to put in the effort to increase that, they are like, I'm happy at this particular position. I'm happy at this particular money, which is not bad. But when they say they are happy, they're again getting into a comfort zone or getting into the cocoon of letting themselves know that I do not need to work hard enough. But at the same point of time, I still want to get paid more. So what ends up happening with a lot of managers out there is they work for 3, 4, 5 years, 8 years, 10 years, whatever span that they work on. And when they reach a particular position, now they need to learn new skills. Now they need to adapt to new skills, right? But they do not want to work hard now. In their life right now, they have got whatever money they could have earned, and they do not want to earn more money because it would require them to sacrifice more of their time. It would require them to give in more of efforts in order to learn those skill sets which are required for that particular position or for that particular money. But they do not want to go give that, right? So what ends up happening is they start becoming someone who is who slows down the pace and the momentum of the organization to grow, right? Whenever you see managers around who are doing the same thing from last 4 years, team leaders around who are doing the same things from last 5 years, they are these ones who have settled down in their life. And what is settling down is getting into the comfort zone. But at the same point of time, they do not want to lose their position and they end up doing dirty things. What dirty things do? They do not want anybody below than them to grow much faster, much better than them. And hence they stop teaching people skills and they think that if they are not going to teach people skills, how the other people are going to grow? And if the other people are not going to grow, no one will be able to replace them. So this is a typical category of managers and team leaders which is out there in IT industries. Which is, I don't know what. But yeah, this is what the case is. They want the maximum of the money, they want the maximum of the position, they want everything at the best. But the output that they were producing earlier significantly goes down. But they're still cashing the max out of it. And by the way, this just doesn't happen with the people who are working on jobs in IT industry. This happens a lot with the people who are running the IT industries as well, IT companies as well. They're like, we are comfortable. But just because you are comfortable, you cannot expect other people in your organization to be comfortable with whatever position they have, right? You got comfortable. They still have hunger in their belly. How can they get satisfied? So that's what it is. Next one is entrepreneurial spirits. Who are these entrepreneurial spirits? Someone who was looking for more money, has got the maximum package one could ever have at the position, at the skill set, what they have, right? So someone who was working as a Salesforce developer is getting, let's say, 24 LPA, 25 LPA ka package. And now they see no more opportunities which are going to give them 30 LPA ka package. Why? Because it requires different skill sets. So now they want to make maximum money with that same skill set. Listen to this very carefully. Now they want to make more money, but with that same skill set. How can they do that? By starting on their own. Okay? You said freelancing and all of those stuff. That's exactly where it starts. But yeah, typically starting on their own. They think that the company is getting paid so much, but the company is giving them this little only. And that's exactly where these entrepreneurial spirits come into play and play the drama. Does that happen? Is it too early for you to realize that? All right, let's go to the next one. How does the cycle for each one looks like? What happens to the comfort seekers and what happens to the entrepreneurial spirits? Any guesses? What happens to the comfort seekers? They lose their job. Do they actually? Because they always make sure that their manager thinks that everything is getting done by them. They are the credit takers of the organization. Even if they're not doing anything, but they're making sure their presence is being valued and their absence is being missed. The moment the company or the organization and the leaders are going to realize that their absence is not making much of a difference and their salary is so high, and that's why you see a lot of managers and a lot of team leaders not taking enough of leaves. Because they do not want their companies to realize that their absence is of no value or their presence is of no value, and hence we are paying them for no reason. I mean, that's one of the reasons. They do not also want their maximum salaries to be chopped off because of their big term leaves, long term leaves. But yeah, this starts happening. But how the comfort seeker cycle looks like?
Actually, some point of time the manager think बस अब हमें कुछ लर्न नहीं करना, हम जो पोजीशन पे है वही है. और जब उनके सबऑर्डिनेट्स हाई पोजीशंस हैं उस पे मतलब हाई पैकेज मिलता है तो वो जेलस से फील करते हैं. उसके कारण मतलब उनमें जेलेसी खुद भी आती है, डर्टी पॉलिटिक्स करने लगते हैं और अनसेटिस्फाइड रहने के कारण मतलब थोड़े फ्रस्ट्रेटेड टाइप ऑफ.
So they are jealous, they are frustrated, they are unsatisfied. That's all what starts happening to them.
Yes, and they like
They play dirty
torture their
politics.
subordinates too.
They torture their subordinates too. All right, that's what she thinks. That's not what.
It's happens sometimes.
It happens sometimes. All right, not here. ठीक है. So look at it. Comfort seekers. What do? They do nothing and take things for granted. Up till now, they have been doing a lot of things. And hence they got positions, money, power, lifestyle, everything. But now, I don't want to do anything more. I just want to relax. I've worked so hard in my young age that I think I have done it enough for all of my life. And now I'm going to do nothing, but still I'm going to take things for granted. All the perks, privileges, everything that I was given, that I was getting, I should still get that. Without doing more for the organization, for the people of the organization, for the people working with them, along with them. So yeah, that starts happening. And what they ends up getting, by the way, they do not do this to get that. Earlier in all of those stages, we wrote down do and get. So they were very clear what are they going to get. But in this situation, they are like, we are not going to get anything, but we are not also going to lose anything. But what they ends up getting is this. Insecurities of being non-relevant. They think that I was working as a .NET developer for last 10 years and now I'm a team leader of .NET. I know so much about .NET and I do not need to upskill myself into a newer technology. But the demand for .NET got slowed down. You have to. There's no point if you're going to stay on to that level only. But they do not. And they take things for granted. And when they take things for granted, some other technology like Salesforce and probably later some others as well, that'll happen with Salesforce as well. So Salesforce is someday going to be probably going to be .NET, and then there's going to be something new which is going to be Salesforce of that time. But they get these insecurities of being non-relevant. Why? Because they see young chaps knowing more, more than them, delivering more than them, and them applying for other positions in other organizations and not getting enough opportunities to even switch. Because they have been playing this hopping game for a while now. They got comfort. And when they got comfort, this span lasted for like very long time, 3-4 years at least. And at that point of time, they enjoyed their honeymoon period. And when they enjoyed their honeymoon period, they were not focusing on to upskilling them or focusing on to the right skill sets. Ends up getting insecurities and starts playing all of those dirty politics that you just said. And other than that, they get a fear inside, deep fear inside, which they do not show out there to the world. All right, who do you see picking up the rod first? The most fearful one or the most confident one? When in a fight, let's say, there are two people, there are two men who got into the fight. Who picks the rod first? Who picks the bat first? The most fearful one. And the most confident one never does that. Right? So whenever you're the most fearful one, you react or you overreact the most. So what happens with all of these team leaders and what happens with all of these all of these managers when they overreact is they are fearful deep down there. And they do not want you to be correct, even though they know that you are correct. Right? That ends up happening. Why? Because they somewhere deep down they know that I might get replaced by this person. I might get replaced by this another new technology. But they still are in their comfort zones that they do not want to work hard or they do not want to put in much effort to like get better at it. And hence, they sometimes get stuck and at other times, like right now, gets laid off. Does that happen? This is exactly what happens. Whenever it's about laying off in IT industry, so you're never going to lay off freshers, right? Because they're already taking less of the salaries and they're very agile. If you want them to work in X technology, they're ready to work in X technology. If you want them to work in Y technology, they're ready to work in Y technology. If you want them to be at this particular point doing this particular project, they're ready to be at this particular project at this particular point. If you want them to be ready for this particular project at this particular point, they're ready to be that. But with time, with experience, with position, with more money and with more comfort zone, these managers, these team leaders or these experienced folks ends up being non-agile and are of no use, but are still taking huge paychecks from the company. And when the time comes of cutting down the costs, these are the first ones who gets picked up, which they do not even realize. So don't be that one. Clear? Any questions? Yeah. Any other thoughts? Well, let's go to the next one. What happens to the entrepreneurial spirit?
End up starting their own company.
Really?
डेड हो जाती है स्पिरिट,
Hmm?
या तो स्पिरिट डेड हो जाती है या फिर वो जॉब छोड़ देते हैं.
या तो स्पिरिट डेड हो जाती है या फिर वो जॉब छोड़ देते हैं. All right. They start doing gig work or freelancing. That's at least where they begin. So like when someone is getting 25 LPA package as a Salesforce developer and they want to make even more money and they do not see a chance of them making more money by switching the jobs, what they start doing is freelancing work. And they think that this freelancing work is going to make them the billionaire or the next millionaire. But that's not how truly it looks like, right? So yeah, I mean, they just start doing gig work, they just start picking up more projects, they start doing more consultancy, and they stop giving much time to the organization as well that they are working in, because they take that for granted and they start working on the freelancing projects and they take that as a priority, because now this is a passive income flow that they are earning of the job. Consider the salary as a passive income flow. Me just being there or me just being there for 3 calls is the passive income that I'm making, right? They start thinking like that. I don't know what gets into their head. I don't know whether they think the people above them or the people running the organization as dumb or what, but yeah, this is exactly what happens. They think that I'm just going to do enough in my organization which is going to have this passive income flow running, not more in my organization, because there's no more chance of me getting more money. And they start doing this freelancing or gig work by giving up more time in their life, and all of that more time in their life is only there in the late nights, early mornings and on weekends. So they give up more life to get more money in their pockets, right? That's exactly where they start, at least. Does that happen? All right. How long do they freelance? Or how long do they do this freelancing thing? Or they do it always?
No, because for the freelancing we need to give time after our like working hours, so it impacts our health and the personal life too. So till that we can manage it, we can do the freelancing. But at that time when we are facing some health issues and the personal life issues, then we have to give up on it.
You're absolutely correct with that. Until they get burnt out, right? They do it until they get burnt out. Their health starts sticking up, their mental status starts sticking up. They end up losing a lot of weight or end up gaining a lot of weight because of the hogging that they used to do with that overthinking, with all of that more money. They were ordering Swiggy every night, every morning. They were having coffees to wake up late nights and everything. And all of those, that starts sticking up and starts creating the damage, right? So that's exactly when they realize that even if I'm making more money, I do not have time to spend with my family. I do not have time to spend on myself, on my health, whether it be my mental health or whether it be my physical health. And the worst of all, I do not even have the time to use the money that I have earned by working this extra hours. When they realize that even if I am making 2 lakh rupees extra per month, but I do not have the time to buy socks for me. That's when it hit hard, right? Typically, it starts happening 6-8 months down the line, 1 year. For some people, it might go on for 2 years if they are very young and they do not have much responsibilities of the family and they do not have big families or whatever. But yeah, it happens. Today or tomorrow, it is bound to happen, right? So they get burnt out and then they're like, I don't want to do anything. I do not want to be focused on the job. I do not want to be focused on to this freelance or gig work. But by that time, let me tell you what happens. What do you think what happens at that point? So they were making a lot of money. In order to satisfy themselves, they start creating liabilities. They would now want to have a better car. They now want to have more EMIs of the bigger flats. They now want to live or spend their vacations at XYZ locations. So now their lifestyle got upgraded because the money that they were making initially was very high. Now, in order to sustain that kind of lifestyle, they would have to keep on making that kind of money. But keeping on making that kind of money is going to require, is going to take a lot of life out of them. So they get very agitated. They do not want to give more of their life, but they still want to live the same kind of lifestyle that they got after doing this freelancing while doing the job. So they really want to leave the job, but they're loving and they're liking the natural flow of passive income which is coming into their bank account every first of the month. Right? They cannot leave that because with that, they've got EMIs of their cars. They've got EMIs of their iPhones and Apple Watches if they have one. Probably all of them have one. And they cannot downgrade that lifestyle. Getting it? So just because they cannot downgrade their lifestyle, they keep on doing it until a point comes where they again get splitted into two parts. Right? All of these people who do freelancing and all of this gig work get splitted into two parts. Right? What do they do once they are fed up with freelancing? So they have only two options, right? Number one, either become part of the comfort seekers. Forget about freelancing gig work and focus onto the company only. And just do nothing, just take that 24 LPS as a Salesforce developer, not focus on to upgrading your skill sets, delivering more to the organization and being the comfort person out there. And what happens to the comfort ones, we have already discussed. So they either end up being the comfort seekers or they take the courage, they take the risk to start off their own. They do not want the liability of doing the job in between of doing their freelancing or gig work because they think that the liabilities that they have or the responsibility that they have can be easily taken care of by the freelancing or the gig work. But a lot of 99% of the people do not take that step because the money that comes from freelancing or gig work is very, very uncertain. In some months you can earn so much, but for a lot of months you can go without any project. But in order to live a life and in order to pay for those EMIs, you need stable income, right? Only an organization is giving that stable income flow when you're doing a job for that organization. That same organization could have hired you as a freelancer as well and could have paid you more. But that organization has hired you for a stable job and giving you stable income. So they cannot lose onto that stable income that they're making because now they've got a lifestyle, now that they've got a family to take care of, now they've got expenses to be, now they have expenses to be taken care of. So that's something that happens. So they either become comfort seekers or start off on their own. We know about what happens to the comfort seekers. Next question is, what happens to the ones who want to start off their own? By leaving the job, of course.
They have to make the strategy to start a business and do the investment.
That they've already done while doing the job in the free time. It's all about what do they do and what do they get? And why do they do that? What is the aspiration about when you want to start off your own? All right, let's go to the next one. It again gets divided into two categories. Number one, which is the 99% of the people out there who want to start off their own. Want more money to live a millionaire lifestyle. A lot of people out there I know who come to me and say, Shrey, we want to be entrepreneurs. We want to run a business. We want to be as successful as you are at such a young age. And I'm like, what kind of a lifestyle are you comfortable with? We want a good lifestyle. I'm like, you have to give that up. And they give up the idea of being an entrepreneur. Why? Because they want to be an entrepreneur in order to have that millionaire lifestyle only. If that millionaire lifestyle is not there, if you'll ask them, would you still be an entrepreneur? The answers of the 99% of the people out there is no. मैं क्यों करूँ इतना? Why should I do this? What am I getting? I'm getting better in the job. So they become rational at that point of time. Right? And rationality never lets you start off your own. It's always the crack-headed. And who are those crack-headeds? 1% on the right hand side. Want to create an impact by creating value for people. They are not worried about the money that they're going to make. They're not worried about downgrading their lifestyles. They're not worrying about riding on a motorcycle rather than a car that they were driving earlier when they had a job. They're not worried about how the world is going to think about them, how their relatives are going to think about them, what the friends and peer groups are going to talk about them, whether they'll be having the time to give to their family or not. They're not thinking about any of this. All what matters to the 1% of the people who want to start off their own is they want to create an impact out there in the world. They want to create value for the people out there in the world. And these are typically the best kind of entrepreneurs that one can be. Not the idea ones who are seeking the investments and then starting the businesses. That's a good way to go about business, but at the end of the day, that idea is also about creating value for people. And if you do not think that that's a valuable thing that you can do to the world, why are you even starting it? Because a lot of time you are going to end up spending more than earning more while being an entrepreneur. That happens, believe me, that happens. And that's the reason why we have very less companies, but very big in size in IT industry, don't we? We have companies who have strengths like 100,000 people working, 200,000 people working, 20,000 people working. Imagine if the size would have been only 500 people working, max to max. How many companies we would have had? So many companies, right? But we do not have that. Why?
Because not all of them value it.
Exactly. Because a lot of the people who want to be entrepreneurs to have that millionaire lifestyle. They do not want to be entrepreneurs in order to create the value out there for the people, or for the world. Getting it? So what should we do about this? All right, now let's discuss this in detail. The one entrepreneurial spirit A, the ones who want to make more and more money to get the millionaire lifestyle, they do more and more work by themselves and ends up getting more money, better lifestyle. When I say better lifestyle, it's not literally a better lifestyle. The definition of lifestyle is also a concern for a lot of people out here. You think a better lifestyle is wearing that Gucci ka belt and then whatever shoes and then having that hat and driving a particular car. It's not really that. I mean, how valuable is your life in itself? And I mean, how well you're taking care of that is what it should be. But technically for them, it's cars, houses, girlfriends, etc. Okay? So this is what they ends up getting. And when it comes to position, they get a CEO title as well. Okay, so this happens with the A category of it. But let's talk about the pitfalls they get into. Shall we? Number one, employee mindset while being an entrepreneur. What starts happening with the people is they were working as an employee. They were like, I'm not getting more money in my job if I'm going to do more things. Why should I work on my job harder? I should work on to freelancing. At least I'll be getting paid more. Okay, they started working into freelancing. And they started getting more money. Now when they started on their own, now they are like, if I have started my own company, I should get paid the most. But in the initial years of your organization, you might not end up making even a penny. But still, whatever money you're making in your organization, instead of investing that money into the people's growth in your organization or into your own organization, you utilize all of that money for upgrading your lifestyle. And that's a big pitfall for all of those people. So if you want to identify whether this entrepreneur is the A category one or whether this entrepreneur is the B category one, just identify which pitfall are they into. And you're going to realize, they belong to this category or they belong to this category. So an employee might, I don't think they should, but an employee, I do not call these terms at Syntexa, let me be very clear. But when defining two people differently, I'll have to use this term. When an employee working in an organization asks, what will I get more when I'll do that? It kind of makes sense because at the end of the day, they're giving their time, their skills to earn that money. But when you're an entrepreneur, you cannot ask that question. You have to give up even if you're not getting, even if you're not going to get things delivered to you, because that's exactly where the risk part comes into the picture. You'll have to do things even if you do not get anything out from it. I'm taking this session without any reason, right? So you have to invest into your people without having the expectation to chop off the crop. You'll have to bow the seeds without thinking that you're going to harvest a crop from here. You might get a chance to harvest the crop, right? That's a possibility. If the rain goes well, if the sun is perfect, if at the right point of time everything works really well, the seeds might yield and there might be a crop to harvest. But that is a might. They always want rationality and they always want stability of an employee. What will I get if I'll do more? That's the mindset that they're running the business with. Never going to work out, right? So that's pitfall number one, what they fall into. Number two, constant lifestyle upgrades demands more money while not investing in people to grow the organization. What all they think is, when I was earning 24 LPA ka package and when I was making freelancing ke andar 1 lakh rupees as money, I was making 36 lakh rupees per year. Now when I've started the company, I should at least make 50 lakh rupees. Otherwise, what is the point of starting this company? Brother, if you're going to make at least 50 lakh rupees per month or per year in the company, what are you going to invest back into the company? Because you do not have other people who are also bringing in the revenue. So you would have to hire more people to support you into the roles. And now you'll have to give the share of whatever you were earning to all of those people. While you were working into that organization, the same reason why you were getting 24 LPA ka package was because there was some amount of money that was given to the salespeople who were working over there to get the new projects. There was some amount of money that was getting invested by that company into the HR people who were taking care that there are new people always joining the organization. There was some amount of money that was getting invested in order to maintain the infrastructure. There was some amount of money that was getting invested into taking care of the leaderships, taking care of the new trainings, taking care of all of the process that make an organization an organization. And you thought the company is paying you less compared to what you were earning, what you were supposed to earn. And now you have to do the same things. So when you're cribbing about the company that you're working in, not giving you enough money, like not giving the same money that you're making for the company, and when you end up becoming an entrepreneur, you end up into the same pitfall. You think, why should I give this HR the salary? At the end of the day, I am the one who is taking the interview. Why I should give the HR just for the calls? You end up asking the salesperson, why should I give you this much money? I mean, at the end of the day, I am the one who is making sure that the client is getting converted. You're not making sure that the client is getting converted. So I should be the one who should get paid 50 lakh rupees per year. It doesn't really work like that. This is entrepreneurship. You have to forget about earning any money for at least 3 years. And only if you're comfortable with that, then only you go with that. Otherwise, if you're going to have more expectations of that business, giving it into your pockets, and you constantly upgrading your lifestyles, all of the people working with you are also going to think that he wants himself to grow, not us, and hence you are not willing to work for him. And you're going to end up losing them sooner or later. That's going to happen. And that has happened with a lot of organizations. And I don't know what is going on with all of those leaders who are running the shows for 10 years with 100 people or 50 people and saying that people do not stay. No, people would want to stay if you'll show them the path to grow. You're not showing them the path to grow. You're just showcasing them the lifestyle upgrades that you're having. People also want to have the lifestyle upgrades. Make sure that the people are having the lifestyle upgrades so that more people want to join you. What you're doing instead is making sure that your lifestyle is getting upgraded constantly and the person is not getting an opportunity to grow. And this is a typical pitfall that these people get into, which should be avoided by all of the entrepreneurial spirit people out there, especially into this industry, because you need a lot of investment. Every year we take almost 100 fresh graduates and we invest into their training. We pay them salaries to get them trained. And even after that, the results are not even close to 40-50%. So we should also ask this question, why should we invest into these people? No, this is what all entrepreneurship is all about. If you're going to be like, why should I buy 500 rupees seeds to just sow it into the ground when the ground is not yielding? Ground's job is not to yield. It will yield if all of the circumstances are going to be right. But at the end of the day, what makes you an entrepreneur is taking that risk to buy those 500 rupees or 5,000 rupees seeds and sow it on the ground. And just take care of the ground, do the right things, and eventually everything will yield and you'll be having a crop to harvest. But that's something that a lot of entrepreneurial spirit people do not fail to understand. And a lot of people who come to me for mentorship and all of those stuff, that I really want to be an entrepreneur like you, I really want to be an entrepreneur like you. This is the first thing which I test in them, that why do they want to become an entrepreneur? And if they say they want to become an entrepreneur to have that millionaire lifestyle, no, it's not going to work out. Right? You cannot be a farmer and say, I just want to harvest the best of the crop out there without putting in the necessary efforts. And a lot of time what is going to happen is you're going to put in the necessary efforts, still you might not get the best crop out there, or even a crop that gets yielded into a harvest. So if you're ready with that, then only let's go on to the journey. And that's only 1% of people till date. Next is, why should I invest? Yeah, we have already discussed it. They want to do it all alone. So typically in IT industry, what starts happening is the people who end up, typically what happens in IT industry is the people who end up creating the companies have stolen the clients from their previous companies and have started their own companies. And now they are fearful of letting their people handle the new clients because they think that what they did to their last organization is the same thing that is going to happen with them as well. And they end up tackling or taking care of all of their clients. And when they end up doing that, there's no point of scaling. They just end up serving 2 to 3 clients at max. And when you do not grow or scale the organization, it is not going to really work out really that well for you. You will have to transfer the ownerships and the responsibilities to other people, and you will have to have those kind of relationships and trust with people so that the people consider it as their own organization and works towards its own growth. Right? That's how the mindset should be aligned. But that's something that they do not understand. They do not have trust in people, and they end up doing it all. So what happens with all of those people is they end up alone in the journey, as entrepreneurship is a team sport, not an individual sport. Are we all aligned with this? Sure? All right. Now let's talk about the entrepreneurial spirit B. What happens with them is they figure out and provide value to the world out there while keeping money as a byproduct. As I said, your job is to give the right amount of water to the field, the best of the best seeds into it, the right techniques to be deployed. But money is going to be a byproduct. What that means is the harvest is always going to be a byproduct. You might get that or you might not get that. But you should not do anything just for the harvest. Of course, the harvest is a very, very important thing. But if you really want to be, just work on to somebody else's field where the money for the seeds, where the field, where the water is being invested by that guy. If you're not willing to take that risk, entrepreneurship cannot happen without taking risks. And if you're not willing to take that risk, you're not ready for it. Just first become ready for it. Just first become willing to take that risk. Just first become willing to lose out there. So have this thing in mind, that no matter how much aspiration I have to make money, and by the way, a lot of people out there who want to create so much money, if they get themselves aligned to this mindset that money is a byproduct, and I'm here to produce value for the people out there in the world, they also win, and they end up getting a lifelong or at times generational wealth, which lasts for generations, and not just generational wealth, but generational impact in the family, not in the family, but in the communities, not in the communities, but in the cities, not in the cities, but in the countries, right? We've seen so many amazing people started out from India, from almost nothing, and killing it to the top. So that's what it is. So this is what you end up getting. So if you really want, and by the way, I didn't say money, you end up getting generational money. No, I didn't say money. What is the difference between money and wealth?
Wealth is something that even if you're not putting effort for it right now, you get it. Money is something that you constantly have to put effort in order to earn.
Exactly. So money and wealth has a clear difference. Money is just a concept with the help of which you exchange values or do a transaction. But when it comes to wealth, it's something that lasts longer, right? So whatever money you have, whatever assets you have, which are going to help you survive for next 20 years or next 40 years of your life, can be considered as wealth, right? The money that you would need, so like let's say if you have 10 lakh rupees in your bank account and your burn down rate is 1 lakh rupees, so you have 10 months of wealth. That is what the concept is all about. But if you have 10 crore rupees and you have 1 lakh rupees expense as a monthly expense, then what is your wealth? 1,000 months. Okay? So it is going to last for 1,000 months. So that's how you calculate the wealth. Of course, you have to categorize inflation and the returns that you're going to get onto that 10 crore rupees in your bank account if you're getting it as a return. But at a very minimal, when you start creating value for the world out there, you end up creating wealth that lasts for generations. So you end up not thinking about money much. right? Money is not a challenge for you. Money is a byproduct of the activities that you're doing on a day-to-day basis. That's all what it is. Is it clear? All right. What should you do in whichever situation or position you are in? We have covered all of it, right? We have covered the freelancing part of it. We have covered the company starting part of it. We have covered the team leader becoming part of it. We have covered the college part of it. We have covered the first job part of it. This is so confusing, right? What should I do? I'm not in the entrepreneurial position. I might not be in a freelancing position. I might not be in a team leader position. I might not be in a manager position. What should I do in whichever situation or position I am in? All right, you follow the right now triangle. Let's try to understand what this means. So you see a triangle over here, and there is a circle or a dot in between, which is probably the ideal center. Let's try to understand the, what do we call vertices? Lines, let's call it that way. Triangle has vertices or not? No, not all. Let's try to understand this triangle a little bit better. On each of its, edges, triangle edges, whatever. Each of the lines that creates the triangle has one thing, right? So on the left hand side of it is social life, comfort, family time, or freedom. On the right hand side is money, power, lifestyle, and position. And at the bottom is skill set and knowledge. Everybody wants all of the three, right? Everybody. Do you know anyone who doesn't want all of the three? Like, I want family time and I want freedom. I want social life. Social life is time with friends, comfort. Everybody wants comfort at certain positions, certain situations. Everybody wants money, power, lifestyle, and position as well. Everybody wants skill set and knowledge as well. Everybody. So having these three in equal quantities in your life makes you at the center of this triangle, which is the ideal center. So everybody thinks that their life should be at the ideal center. Yes or no? Don't we all want money? Don't we all want social life, comfort, freedom, family time? Don't we all want skill set and knowledge to utilize all of the other things in life? We do, right? We all want it. So we all want to live our life in the ideal center of this right now triangle. Right? Yes? All right. But how many people do you actually know who are living that kind of a life? Who are living the life at, like, just perfectly at the center of this triangle. You just imagine the people in your life at all walks, be it your friends, be it your friends' parents, be it your family people, be it the people at your family, be it your relatives, whosoever. Do you know someone who's extremely knowledgeable, extremely wealthy, and has extreme freedom or extreme comfort? Do you know someone? Achha, do you know someone who has extreme power, extreme comfort, and is still very knowledgeable in each aspect of life? Generally, we do not see those kind of people, right? If we see those kind of people, we call it Bhagwan. Yes or no? So that's how the life is. But let's try to understand this. That why we are understanding this right now triangle. Because practically our life is always at the corners of this right angle triangle, not at the center of it. Right? Right? We can look at this corner over here. Now let's talk about some people who have a government job. So they have an amazing social life, comfort, family time, freedom, and they have money, power, position. But slowly and gradually they end up losing a lot of skill set and knowledge, which makes them non-relevant out there in the world. I mean, and by the way, no offense towards any government professionals. It's just a natural nuance that I see around myself. Why? Because they end up doing the same things, monotonous things, because of which they do not have much skill set out there in the to be utilized in their life, right? So that's a tip. So over here you'll see the government people or the stable people out there. A lot of people who have skill set and knowledge, a lot of comfort, freedom, social life, and everything, but no money, no power, no position, and everything. These are the fresh graduates of college. They have knowledge about a particular thing. They do not have any money. They want to make a lot of money. But right now they are enjoying with their friends and they are enjoying with their studies and as well. So typically at any given moment of time, you can only live a life in any of the corners only, not at the ideal center. And be okay with that. Because that's how life has been and is going to be. You're never going to have all three of it perfectly aligned. And again, as I said, if you have it, you're a Bhagwan. Getting it? But typically the life is around that. And this is also about the stages of life as well. So if you want more money, you'll either have to end up in a position where you get either social life or a lot of knowledge. So if you want social life, comfort, freedom, as well as money and power, go and get a government job. And that's why a lot of people out there are waiting for it for the last 8 to 10 years and not getting any joinings. If you want to be very rich, powerful, want to have a lifestyle position, and you still want to be very knowledgeable and everything, give up your social life. Give up your comfort. Give up your freedom for some while. You'll have to do that. You cannot be at the ideal center and be extremely rich and extremely knowledgeable. Learning is also an experience which requires effort, for which you have to give up time that is going to come either from family life, social life, or from the comfort or the freedom that you had. Right? So if you want to be very skilled, very knowledgeable, and again having a lot of money, you'll have to lose on to what? Social life. But if you want to have the social life and if you want to be really knowledgeable and you don't want to give up on money, not going to work out. You'll not have the time to utilize the knowledge and the skill set which is going to make you money if you're going to spend a lot of time on weekends or on extra time with your friends. So if you want friends, families always to be around, you want your emotional balance to be there, and you want to be knowledgeable at the same point of time, what do you need to do? Give up money, give up position, be comfortable, be content. And I see a lot of people out there who are happy living their life like that. They're like, I'm happy, even if I'm making 25,000 a month, I'm happy with that. Because कोई problem नहीं है. I have my family, I have my parents to have a tea with in the morning, I have my kids to take out for a walk in the evening. I'm happy. So be that person, right? So this is something that you need to do. Do you know, by the way, do you know someone who is at the ideal center in your life? Who has extreme knowledge, extreme money, extreme comfort? No one? Probably some people that you watch on social media and get influenced by. Yeah, how is this person running these companies, making sure that they travel every 2 months, making sure that they are knowledgeable and relevant in the industry? How are they able to do it? And then you watch their life on Instagram and then you beat yourself up. Right? Do you know real stuff about their life? It's just what they're showcasing it to you. At the back, what is going on is only what they know. And we are beating ourselves up for no reason. Does that happen? So that's what it is. And even if you get someone who has a lot of money, who has a lot of knowledge, and who has amazing social life and everything, probably the money is inherited. Their generations have worked in order for them to be in a position where they can enjoy that kind of money, be very knowledgeable in order to get the best of the best education available out there, spend time with the right community, to be knowledgeable and to be skilled, and at the same point of time they have amazing social lives. So if you're comparing your life with some Ambani's son, I don't know what's going to happen to you. Because they've got it inherited, right? So, and there's no problem with that. You could have also got inherited. You should have done some right things that you should have got it inherited. So that's what it is. But no one's living the life at the ideal center. And we all are beating ourselves up, thinking that we should be at the ideal center. No one is and no one can be. You have to just figure out which corner I want to live in. And by the way, this keeps on changing as well. At a given point of time, you want to live at this particular corner, but at a later point of time, you want to live at this particular corner. So like, let's take an example of a lot of females out there in the IT industry. They want to live their life very aggressively in their initial years of career, but after a while, when they get married, when they get kids and all of those responsibilities, they want to enjoy the beauty of being a mother, being a wife, being a whatever, a family person or anything. So now they move to a different corner. But if they move to a different corner, there is going to be some side of the triangle which is going to get lost. They have to be comfortable with that. And if they are going to be comfortable with that, they are not going to get into problems like anxiety and depression, which is very high out there in the market. Is it? That's all what it is about. Any questions, Sula? All right. One can be at the ideal center only if they inherit knowledge, skill set, or money. Right? Wow. All the three things cannot be attained at that point of time if one is not given up, right? And a lot of times what happens is the people who have a lot of money keep on giving up more money the right entrepreneurs, this is exactly what they do. The best of the best entrepreneurs keep on giving more money to get more skilled all the time. If you want to hold on to the maximum money, you're not going to get more skills. So you'll have to lose on to the money. So you have to make sure that which corner you are in and how you have to navigate towards the corner that you aspire to be in. Getting it? All right. Pitfalls to avoid. So we're talking about the things that one should do as an IT professional. So now we are going to talk about the pitfalls that any IT professional, whatever situation they are in, should avoid. Being in a dilemma to have it all at a given moment. The point of explaining that triangle was this only. You cannot have it all. No one has ever had it all. That's what my understanding and analysis is. If you're planning to have it all, probably you need to rethink that. And probably you need to reprioritize things for you. But have it very clear. What do I want? Am I going towards it? And what am I going to give up for that? If you're going to be okay with all of those sacrifices and giving up all of those things, you're going to be fine. So that's what it is. Not working hard towards reaching your aspirations. A lot of people are out there smart, very, very smart. Especially this happens with a lot of smart people only. They procrastinate. They know what their aspirations are. They know what tasks and activities they have to do in order to reach to that particular position. But they're not willing to put in the hard work which is required to do that. And that's a big, big pitfall. Next is being in the comfort zone and not leaving what is necessary along the way. Exactly what I said. They want to have the beauty of raising a kid, but they do not want to give up that position or money that they have earned in their initial years of career. Give that up. That's not going to be valuable for you and for your kid. The relations and the memories that you're going to build with that kid is going to be more important. Don't do that. But I don't know why they're beating themselves up.
Actually, I am the exception of it.
How?
Because I changed my field from...
So are you married?
Yes,
Achha.
I have a 3-year-old daughter.
Oh, great.
And I changed my non-IT field to IT, and I enrolled myself in the MCA.
Mm-hmm.
So that I think that I should plan my baby too with it, so that I can complete my MCA, and my daughter is also grown up.
Mm-hmm.
And after that, I joined the Q admission program, and now she's 3-year-old, and now I started my job.
So yeah, I mean, so you were very clear. You wanted to have a job.
Yes.
You wanted to have a career. You just don't want to. You might be managing it really well,
Yes.
right? But right now, in order to have the skill set or the power position, you're moving from that comfort zone of yours, giving up some time of yourself with that kid to get yourselves towards getting a skill set, getting knowledge, getting the money, the power, the position, whatever you're looking for in a job, right? You're putting in that effort. How many females or how many women do you know who give up that and say they want to give it up, but they're not able to?
Yeah, but my mother is my inspiration because she is a government teacher, and she when my brother is born at that time, she got the job and she managed everything. And my husband is working in the other city, and my mother got the post in another city, and she managing me and my brother, which is only 3 months old that time. So she is my inspiration for doing all these things.
So you're following the footsteps that your mother laid down for you. So your mother did the right things for the generations to follow.
Yes.
Are we doing the right things for our generations to follow? Is a question for all of us. And that's exactly what I want to emphasize over here. Are we thinking about the long-term impacts of switching, hopping? Are we setting the right examples for the generations to follow? And if that's the right example, set it for your family. Why not? But is that really the right example are we setting? Because for her mother is an inspiration. And because she managed it at that point of time with all of those uncertainties and less technology and all of those stuff, she thought she can do it really well and really easily. And she's doing it right now. That's exactly what's happening, right? So, but there are a lot of people who are not doing it. Do you think that they're not having enough of inspiration to do it? Or what is the reason why they're not doing it? They say they want to do it, but they're not doing it.
Might be some personal issues, or might be they want to enjoy with their kids only. And
But why are they saying then that we want money, we want independence, we want career and everything? All right, I'm also in a position to understand that. I'm open to whatever feedback that comes through, and not having any prejudices about it. But yeah, thanks for sharing that. Keeping into consideration the long-term impact, this is exactly what we said, and yeah, leaving the impact thing is all what is written down in here. Keeping into consideration the long-term impact of the same instead of the short-term on you and on your immediate surroundings. And when I say immediate surroundings, See, we have a responsibility of our immediate surroundings. You might think, मेरे को क्या करने का है? मेरे को क्या मतलब है? Wait. You're going to realize that. What impact is it going to leave on the impact of the things that we do lasts for lifetimes. We are not even thinking about for the next 3 years, next 2 years. Even right now, people are taking such steps for which they are not realizing what impact is it going to have on the immediate surroundings. When I say immediate surroundings, immediate family members. They're not even realizing that. They have only one father to take care of in Jaipur, and they want to move to Bangalore, and they are moving to Bangalore, not realizing what impact is it going to have onto their father. That's also something that people are doing, and probably they might have had a conversation with the father that, okay, are you okay with that or not? But all what I want to share over here is, see, think about the impact of things and then take actions. Do not randomly, abruptly take actions just to satisfy whatever you think you need, which is generally what you get influenced by the immediate peers of yours, out of insecurity or out of greed. Just leave that aside, think it through, write down on a paper whether I want to do this, whether I don't want to do this, what are the reasons I want to do this, what are the reasons I don't want to do this, and then evaluate rationally, emotionally, whatever works out for you, and then take this. And what impacts is it going to have in both the sides. And accordingly, you take the action. But right now, we as humans, especially this generation, including me, is not thinking about the impact of any of our actions. And see, who's going to suffer? Us. So that's how you should go about it. Not playing the short-term game. If you're just going to play the short-term game, you're going to end up in a pitfall for sure. Forgetting about the necessary skills required to level up. And by the way, this is something that I'm going to end up this session with, and then we're going to have the questions. So coming back to this, forgetting about the necessary skills required to level up. A lot of time what happens with people is they think that all what they need as skill set is the technical skills. And if they know the technical skills, if they become a Salesforce architect, they've achieved a pinnacle in their life that nobody can surpass. See, the Salesforce thing has been around since last 20 years, and in the last 20 years, whether it's going to be even relevant or not is a question. And that's exactly what has happened with all of the other technologies. How much of C programming language do we use is a question today. So, becoming the best person out there in the C programming language doesn't make you a god. So don't think like that. So there are skills that you need to work upon, and not just talking about the technical skills. Someone who's very good at recruitment, someone who's very good at sales, they are thinking, I am able to do sales just like that. Sales is by the way, different skill set. Let's not talk about sales. Recruitment is also aligned towards that. But let's talk about the technical skills, job-related skills. Someone thinks, I am the best SEO out there. In 10 years, whether SEO is going to be a thing or not is a question. What are you so proud of? Don't be that. Then if not technical skills, what skills should we be focusing on? So I am here standing right in front of you, asking you as an IT professional, if not just the technical skills, what other skills you should be focusing on? Way of talking, all right. Communications. Soft skills. Teamwork. Kind of aligned with where we want to go. Leadership, exactly. All right. There are different levels of skills that are there. Number one is, of course, the technical skills or the job-related skills. When I say technical skills, it's a job-related skill. If you have to repair a laptop, so earlier people used to charge 1,000 rupees in order to install Windows into your PCs, right? Are you willing to give that same amount of money to do that, right? So they lost the job. So if you think you've become a master of one technical skills or one job-related skill, and you just want to hold on to it the maximum possible for you, and you do not even want to pass it on to the next generation of people working with you, you're going to end up like the person who ended up not learning a new skill, not leveling up in the skills, right? And eventually lost the job because they became irrelevant to the market. So other than technical skills, the next thing that one should work upon is people skills or leadership skills. So a lot of time what a lot of technical people out there do is, no, I just want to be an architect. I just want to do coding. I love coding. I love development. Brother, tomorrow AI is going to write down all of the code that you have been writing down for so long. This is exactly what has happened with all of the COBOL people who used to work.
This is going to happen with you as well. Don't think you're some other god out there. You're mortal. Even the gods who come on earth are mortal. So the point is, don't stick on to that skill. Level up. And when I say level up, it's not about learning the new skills in that domain only. Leveling up is getting to a newer level of skill set. Right? Are you always going to be a developer when the developer jobs are going to be relevant? No, right? So the chances, the probabilities of you growing up is either towards acquiring a new skill set which is going to be relevant out there in the market. So let's say today, right now you're working into Salesforce and you're trying to acquire AI skill sets which are going to be relevant for the tomorrows of the world. So you are acquiring that, that's good. But are you leveling up? So that's again being on level 1 for all of your life. Are you leveling up? If you're a marketing executive, are you leveling up, learning the new skills? Because those marketing skills are going to become irrelevant and you'll keep on struggling on the level 1 only. You have to level up to the next level of skill set, which is leadership skill sets. Which a lot of people out there are not either willing to learn or not trying to understand the importance of it and the impact of it that they can have. Without learning people skills or leadership skills, you cannot do anything great and cannot do anything impactful. Nothing. You see all of those people around who are leading the world and you having deep respects for them. Are they really the best in the technical field or are they the best leaders? They're the best leaders. And what makes someone a best leader? They have the best people skills. People are willing to be led by them. People are choosing them over anybody else to work with. People are choosing them to guide them. Right? So I am choosing someone to guide me about how am I willing to go. Not everyone can do that. You're not even willing to choose your father as your leader. So if you're choosing someone as a leader, that means there's a huge trust involved over there. Are you learning how to build trust with people? Are you learning how to influence people? Are you learning how you can create impact for people? And if you're not going to learn that, the chances of you growing up in levels are going to be really less. Next is money management skills. A lot of people who understand people skills, leadership skills, things become so easy for them, so fluid for them that with just their one mind, two hands and 2 legs, they are able to execute 100 things at a time. That's exactly the capacity that they execute on. 100 things at a time they are able to manage just with the help of people skills, just with the help of leadership skills. But there is another pitfall for those people, which is the money management skills. They are not good with managing money, right? Typically, this goes on the either side of it. The people, the ones who are good with managing money are not good with people. You know the accounts department everywhere. And typically the people who are good with managing people are not good with numbers or managing money. So that's what it is. So if you're good with people, start leveling up and learn the money management skills. And this is a rare skill. And this is exactly what takes you to a whole another level. And by the way, and then comes life skills. What is life skills? That's another topic of discussion. So let's leave it for a while. But yeah, if you're not leveling up, if you're not understanding life the way it is, you're not doing things right. If you're not understanding how money works, no matter how much money you make, it's all going to go back into those Gucci belts, those LV bags, and all of those expensive stuff. And which is not bad, you should have it. But yeah, all of the money that you're going to earn is going to get back into the lifestyle that you want to showcase to the other people who you do not like, but you want them to like you. And and you need people skills as well. And then comes life skills. So yeah, that's what it is. Now the question is, can someone directly learn level 3 or level 4 skills and forget about the rest? I want to learn about money management skills and life skills. If these are the last levels of it, why should I worry about learning technical or job related skills or people skills? I've got already a lot of money. I've got let's say 100 crore rupees. And if I've got 100 crore rupees, can I just learn money management skills and then life skills and I'll be okay? So the answer is no. It's all encompassing. Life skills are never complete until unless you have the technical or the job related skills, because you'll not be able to relate with the individual. You'll not be able to have a conversation with the individual who's executing onto the ground. And typically when you see a lot of people out there who have inherited money, they've lost touch with the ground. Because they've got money management skills, they've got life skills somewhat as well, but they have got no technical or job related skills because they think they're too high of learning, they're too high at a position where they do not need to learn technical or job related skills, which is exactly another pitfall. You have to learn that. If you do not learn it, you're going to pay the price of it sooner or later, very high, because you have got more money. And that's why the generational wealth disperses and gets reduced with generations, because the first generation which created it had it all. The second generation got somewhat of it, a little bit. The third generation has completely lost the touch with the job related skills, technical skills, and even people skills. They do not even value people as people. The second generation at least value people as people. So they have still people who are executing on the job related levels, and they are teaching them about the technical or job related skills. But what happens with the third generation? They just learn about money management skills and the life skills, and they think the lifestyle skills are the life skills. That's a big problem, and hence end up losing all of the money, which should not be the case. And you should not directly focus on to getting the third level or the fourth level of skill set. It's all encompassing. So you start from the bottom and then you eventually grow. If you do not have people skills, you cannot become a money manager. That's probably what I think. I might be wrong. Money management, and if you do not have money management skills, your ability to understand that. So I know a lot of people who have read Bhagavad Gita. So they think that they've kind of understood life skills. But the challenge is they do not know anything which is going to help them survive in this era, in this yug, in these years. So you're not able to make some roti for your stomach. You're not able to make some money to feed yourself and your family and to give them the right kind of education, right kind of security, right kind of environment, right kind of money. And you think you've got the life skills and you know it all. Well, that's a problem. First become rich and then a philosopher. Who said that? Exactly. So that's all what it is. And in order to become rich, you again has to start with the technical or the job related skills. Are we good on that? All right. Any questions? Anyone? We have another mic which we can pass on to people. And you'll not get recorded, don't worry. You want some? Anybody? So see, this was not for my explaining you about how I think about the world is. It's more about understanding your perspective as well. So if you have a question, even in Hindi, even if you want us to not record it, we'll just tone it down, but have a conversation. I just want to have a conversation from the people, or with the people who are there, who are facing it from day in, day out. And are we connected with those grounds or not? क्योंकि भाई हमारे पास भी पैसा आ गया ना, तो हम समझे money management skills is everything. No, still what challenges you guys are facing is also a concern of us, right? So, any questions? Any different thoughts other than what we have shared here?
How do you identify what?
Yeah, give her the mic.
How do you identify what phase of your professional life you're in?
So it's very simple. Wherever you are, whatever you have, and wherever you're planning to go ahead in, right? So if you already have money, if you're planning to go into comfort seeker position, then you already know which position are you in. If you are in a position where you've just got a first job and now you're trying to master the skill, then at that point of stage you are in. So that's how you identify. I mean, just where are you headed towards? So if you're headed towards more and more money, you're probably in the hopping A category. So whatever your aspirations are, according to those aspirations, you can classify yourself into different stages.
Yeah, but for a lot of young people out there, it is quite difficult. Like you said, it's a loop. And once you get into the loop, it's really difficult to come out of it. So is there like a identification thing that you can point out and get out of that mindset to understand that this is a loop and I need to get out of it? So and then I can.
So see, first of all, watch this session. Try to understand things rationally. And so what you're saying is it gets difficult for people to understand what phase they are in. That's what you're trying to say is. See, they do not even know they are in a phase. They do not even know they are in a cycle. So that's a problem. So don't you think it's your responsibility to tell them that as well? You should tell your brother or sister who is thinking about switching job, even if they haven't got. I know I have a brother, right? Like very close one, who was saying to me, Shrey, I got placed in Samsung and I'm going to get a job there. And I'll just work over there for 9 months or not more than a year, and then I'm just going to switch and increase my package. For one day I listened to it. The other day when I met him, I just asked him, are you willing to listen to what I am about to say? He told me, yeah, tell me, I always listen to you. So I told him that having this predefined notion of you not even getting into the company and thinking about leaving it is a problem. You get into the company, you figure out what you're looking for, whether you're getting that in the same organization or not. If you're not getting that, have conversations with the leaders, have conversation with the managers that I want this, can you provide me that? I need it, and what am I willing to give for that? If you want more money, ask your manager, ask your team leaders, what am I supposed to do in order to get more money? People are not having those conversations. What they think after watching that YouTube video is that if I'm going to put a resignation, the company would want to try to retain me and give me more money. Who are you? Some Birbal or something? Right? So that's a different notion that they have in their head. And all what we need to do is make them understand this. See, you're not a Birbal in Akbar's Raj Sabha. You're just a regular person. All what you know is something that can be taught very easily in 6 months or not more than a year. And something that you've learned from that same organization and you're showing those same kind of attitude towards that organization is also a miserable mindset. So we call it in Hindi, thali mein kha rahe ho, usi ko matlab thukna hai. Right? That should not be the case. But we all are appreciating it in a way. We are saying, "Arey, saw that guy, see that Sharma ji ka bacha. He switched 3 jobs and now he's at 40 LPA ka package. Arey, he's at a 40 LPA ka package in Germany." So evaluate things very clearly, and just spread the awareness about taking the right things and doing the things with considering the impact of it. And that's all what we can do individually. It's not just one person's job. It's an individual's job to spread it. So right now in this session, we could have expected more numbers, right? We don't have it. Next time, can we have it? Of course, yes. The people who were here can get that. And was that important for the people who came here? Is something that the presenter or someone who is speaking over here should know about. Okay, it should be valuable for these people so that these people spread the awareness. A lot of times what happens is, especially people like you, they learn, they get the value, but they do not want to pass on the value. That's the problem. So you pass on the right values, things will automatically emerge. Got it? Anybody else? Any other question?
Sir, from technical skill or people skills, which do you think have more priority?
See, both are very important. You cannot utilize your people skills until unless you are you're an expert into the technical skill or a job related skill. So let's take an example. You're working as a developer. If you're not a good developer, you cannot become a technical lead even if you have the best people skills. Why? Because the people are not going to respect you. They're not going to look up to you. They would not want to be like you. And until unless they do not want to be like you, they would not listen to you. You would not have those kind of leadership skill sets. So you'll just have a position of a leader, but the people in your team are not going to consider you as a leader. In order to have that, you need to have the trust, the respect, and that can only be built with the right technical skills or the job related skills. So you first need to master the technical skill sets and then focus on to the leadership skill sets. Alright? Do we have some on the forms as well? In the form we had multiple questions, we can just ask this. Anybody else? Any other question? Anything transparently, openly if you want to talk about. I'm not Shrey the CEO in here. I'm just another Shrey. Please.
Just 2 questions. First is, for example, now you want to move from people management to money management, but you don't have that kind of resource available with you. Is there any other way to learn money management rather than experiencing it or rather than having it in your hand?
So what you're trying to ask is there a way like how to first of all learn money management skills?
Yes.
So you should not start. And by the way, a lot of people confuse between money management skills and stock trading skills. It's not the same. It's not the same. It's never the same. Money management is different. Stock trading is different. I would never recommend anybody to learn stock trading, right? But I would always recommend everybody to learn money management, because there are two things without which you cannot live the life: a good health and money. Both are very important. Even if you've got the best money out there, if you do not have a good health, nothing in life seems to be valuable. Even if you have the good health and everything amazing working out for you, if you do not have the money, you cannot keep up with that good health. So both of these things are very, very important, of course. But coming back to the point that you asked, how can we learn money management skills? So see, it comes initially from managing the personal finances. So someone who has just started working, initially got the first job, got a package, buying those iPhones, buying those Nike sneakers, Air Jordans, customized, name printed on the back, getting the cars, EMI, Apple Watch, all of those things, which are not bad. These are all good things, by the way. If you want to have it, you can have it. But if you're not realizing whether you're investing into assets or liabilities, then you're not learning money management. So it all starts with managing personal finances, then eventually getting yourself into a position where the people who have the money consider you capable enough to manage their money on their behalf. And then eventually you ending up making so much money that you are managing your own assets and your own portfolio.
Yeah, but I get it that the bigger part will come later. But when it comes to personal finances, even how to figure that out?
So see, there are a lot of self-help books out there. You just read any one of them. They all have the same mindset. And even if you are not a reader, it's very simple. Whatever you're investing in, classify that as an asset or a liability or a necessity and a luxury. If you're just keeping your necessities right, upcheck, while taking care of the impact of it on you in the short span and the longer term, it'll be fine. Does that mean that you should not buy a Lamborghini when you can actually afford that? No, of course you should. But will you be able to drive that Lamborghini even if the income that you are earning right now you'll not be able to come? Is a question. So have that kind of wealth for you so that even if you're not earning the same kind of income what you're earning today, you'll be able to fill in the petrol in that Lamborghini and will be able to drive it on the road. Otherwise, the people are going to make more fun of you. If you're just seeking validation out there from the world that I can only be a part of this group if I'm going to have an iPhone because I need iMessage to talk to these people, or not just that, if I'll only be able to be friends with all of these people if I'll have a car. So if you're investing into liabilities, which is the definition of simple liability is taking money out from your pocket every month is a liability. Bringing in money into your pocket is an asset. So if you're focusing on to creating assets which are going to bring in income into your pocket, you are investing into assets. If you are focusing on to purchasing and owning things which are going to take money out from your pocket every month, then that's a liability. So that's exactly where you start. So when you start classifying all of these things, what starts happening is you take conscious decisions with money, not impulsive decisions. I saw someone having that MK ka bag. I want to have it too. I saw some influencer out there wearing this. That influencer or that movie star is wearing that on free because the designers want them to showcase their designs and they're getting all of those dresses for free. But are they going to, a lot of people out there not repeating the dresses. If you are in that position, of course, go ahead for that. If you have enough wealth available for you, there's no problem. I know a lot of people who are very smart, very wealthy and everything, and they do not repeat dresses. But are you in the position or not is something that only you can classify. So not wearing those dresses because XYZ Khan or XYZ movie star is not repeating the dresses makes you more vulnerable to situations where you're going to end up losing whatever you have to all of these silly things, and you're going to, instead of just showcasing the world that you are here, you're going to showcase the downward track very fast. So don't end up in a trap like that.
Alright, so in total, just focus more on getting in the assets and avoiding the liabilities.
Avoiding the liabilities as much as you can, but again, coming back to the point. So let's say if I like to drive cars, like I want to do off-road. So if I have the money, should I buy it or not? If you're not going to also take care of
I mean, a lot of time what happens is, I know a lot of people working at Syntex as well. They got this understanding that I should invest into asset, I should not invest into liability and everything. And they stopped living life. What is the best asset that you can invest in? Yourself. Right? And what is yourself? Your life.
Yeah.
And you're not keeping your life alive. What are you doing? So it's a perfect balance of all of those things. Right? So even if I had a car, I wanted to do off-road, I thought it a lot that whether I should buy a car which helps me do off-road or not. Figured out it'll make me happy and I can afford it. And I do not have to worry about my income to buy it. I have enough saved for it. I have enough saved for the rainy seasons as well. I can buy it. Went ahead, bought it in cash, no problem. It's the recurring expenses that kills people the most, not the fixed ones. So if you can get something in the fixed expense, if you have enough savings of the money that you're trying to spend, then just go for that experience. A lot of people, when they understand about these assets and liability, they stop having experiences in life. That's also a problem. So yeah, one should not do that.
Okay. And second question, the entrepreneurship B set, where the two words, that comfort seekers and the ones who actually want to make an impact. Now, for example, if the freelancers have stopped doing freelancing and are now starting to think of taking a path to start their own business, and then you suggested without having a parachute of job, is there any other way for them? Because that's the only thing that's left.
Having enough saved for at least 3 years of their expenses.
So they stay in the job.
No. I'm not recommending them to stay in the job. If they're doing freelancing, if they're doing gig work, and if they're making enough money, instead of spending that enough money into upgrading their lifestyles, they can have it saved as a investment fund that they're going to invest into their business.
Okay.
But what ends up happening is when you give up life, you want to compensate it with your expenses. So the more hard you're going to work, the more ruthless you're going to be on your expenditures. Right? Because you're like, I'm working so hard, I deserve this. I'm working so hard that I should get this. Even after working so hard, I don't want to think about money. If that's how you're going to do, and if you're going to constantly upgrade into your lifestyle, you'll not be having that investment fund to invest into your business, or that fund, that what do we call it? Safety net fund. Even if for 3 years you've tried to run your business with that investment fund and with the recurring expenses that you have for yourself and for your family, it doesn't work out, plan to get back into the job. But have as long of a safety net as you can and as big of an investment fund as you can have, but invest that wisely. Don't just hire the best person out there. Focus on to hiring people who are going to stay with you longer.
Okay. Thank you.
Thanks. Anybody else? Sure. All right. Thank you so much, guys. It was a lovely session for me. I don't know what about you. We plan to have it more on such topics and more topics other than just this. Leadership, if you want to learn, money management, if you want to learn, we're going to have more sessions about this in detail, very, very detailed. So after watching this session, you might have, there's nothing else that you want to watch, that you need to watch in order to understand the life of an IT professional after this session. This is all what you need to know in order to understand the life of an IT professional. Even after this, if you do not take the right decisions, it's just that you're acting compulsively rather than consciously. So just make sure to do that, spread the word, and get more people to get valued in health, to get the right value in health. Thank you so much.